Live from Fox 8, bringing you the best high school football coverage in Northeast Ohio. Driven by Conrad's, it's Friday Night Touchdown.
Welcome to the playoffs!
Welcome to the playoffs!
Welcome to the playoffs!
The road to Canton starts tonight!
On the playoff edition of Friday Night Touchdown!
Good reads on it.
All right, everybody, defending state champions Chardon and St. Ed's. They hope to bring home the hardware again, while Kirtland and Hoban are both trying to win one more game. And you never know who could pull an upset, so stick around. The playoff highlights are coming up.
It is playoff time on Fox 8 Friday Night Touchdown. Now in our 26th season, we are powered by Conrad's. I'm PJ Ziegler along with the big man Ken Carmen, and yes, we are coming to you live.
Hi!
Hi, Ken.
Hi, everybody. Tonight's final scores are running along the bottom of your screen. For more than 80 first-round playoff games across Northeast Ohio. Now say hello to John Sable, who's always in postseason form.
This is my playoff debut, but thankfully I have the help from two living legends, the great John Tellage and the commissioner, Dan Conlon.
Well, I've been covering playoff games since they played the first title games at the Rubber Bowl.
Some time ago. All right, gang, let's keep going on the show. It's all about highlights, and we have them from 20 local playoff games, starting with Danny.
For us, it's part of the process. We talk about building the foundation our first year back and stuff like that. And, our end goal is to be able to compete against teams like this.
Stowe coach Martin Potter is realistic about being a 16th seed. St. Edward's first possession, Kyan Mason turns the short pass into a 38-yard gain to the 5. And from there, Marvin Bell will bolt into the end zone. St. Ed's 7-0. Stowe kept punting, and St. Ed's kept returning them. Kyan Mason again. He went to the left, and here he comes back to the right. And he goes all the way, but it's going to be called back. But it doesn't count. But it was so good we had to show it. A couple of plays later, Marvin Bell scored his second touchdown, 12 yards, and St. Ed's rolled over Stowe 49-6. The Eagles will face Massillon Jackson next. Ken, you're up.
We're in Mentor. Week 1 of the playoffs. Cardinals hosting Brunswick. Let's check out those highlights. The Mentor Band providing a great soundtrack as usual, and the Cardinals offense was as powerful as usual. Scotty Fox from 7 yards out to Jacob Snow. Mentor up big at half, but Brunswick kept fighting. Here's quarterback Ethan Roxandich, just a sophomore, and he is dragging and still dragging an entire nest of Cardinals on his way to the Mentor red zone to end the third quarter. Later on, it's senior Cade Som scoring from 12 yards out, but Mentor beats Brunswick again, this time 35-14. John.
Let's start things here at Cleveland Heights, where the Tigers take on the Lorain Titans.
All right, gang, those Titans early on. This is Rico Anderson. Nice cut, some speed, and he has 25 yards of real estate. For the Tigers knocking on the door, Marquise Davis. And it is a 7-0 lead. Tigers flexing their defensive muscles. Ashawn Sims, tackle for loss. Then later, first quarter, Davis once again would not be denied. Breaking tackles, big chunk of real estate. Then Owen Bisker, a scrum. He keeps going into the end zone. Cleveland Heights rolls 70-6. Tigers play St. Ignatius in the next round. PJ.
Welcome to Byers Field, a historic night for John Marshall. The Lawyers playing in their first ever playoff game. They're taking on St. Ignatius. These two programs haven't met since 1978. St. Ignatius riding an 18-game win streak against John Marshall. Tough start for John Marshall. They fumble on their opening possession. It leads to a Sean Martin 2-yard touchdown run and a 7-0 St. Ignatius lead. More bad news for the Lawyers. They can't handle the snap on this punt. The Wildcats recover, take over at the Marshall 16-yard line. That leads to a Max Ritt 4-yard touchdown run and a 14-0 Wildcats lead. St. Ignatius adds a field goal on their next drive for a 17-0 lead, and then Michael Norman puts the game away with a 4-yard touchdown run, and the Wildcats are moving on with a 33-6 win. John Sable.
Conference playoff action here in Medina hosting Strongsville. The Bees try to make it 2 straight over the Mustangs, beating them here earlier in the season by 21 points. Mustangs coming in as a big underdog.
Yeah, Strongsville looking also for its first playoff win since 2008. Tough task tonight. Medina's offense had a slow start, but the Bees got it going here. Dan Stoddard finds Carlos Corchado. Full extension over the pylon. Count it. Touchdown Medina. 7-0 Bees. Strongsville hanging around early. Watch this. Nolan Beard, the sophomore quarterback, calling his own number. The QB keeper weaving through the defense and takes a hit and boom, into the gray paint for the touchdown. Mustangs hanging close, but the Medina Battling Bees offense woke up, took control in the final 3 quarters, outscoring Strongsville 35-0. Medina rolls 42-7. Bees will play the winner of the Wadsworth and Elyria game. PJ.
Okay, 5 playoff games down, 15 to go, starting with the commish.
Dan made his second stop at the Eagles Nest, where Avon is looking to win Region 6 for the 5th straight year. Let's see those highlights.
Where's Waldo? Well, we found him in Avon, where the number 1 seed Eagles are hosting Westlake. Avon quarterback Sam D'Attilio, big gain up the middle, and first down, little hole, huge hole for little Max Arnold, who comes to an abrupt stop when he's hit by Sam White. Next play, Arnold bounces up and finds pay dirt to increase Avon's lead to 35-0 with 22 seconds left in the half. Yeah, Westlake fumbles the ball right back, and Ethan Holbrook makes the touchdown catch to make it 42-0 at halftime. Avon Lake wallops Westlake 49-0. PJ.
All right, thanks, Danny. 16 seed Copley taking on the number 1 seed Holy Name at North Royalton. This was an 8-point game in the second quarter when the Namers went to work. Javon Williams with a pretty pass to Matthew Montrunix for the 33-yard touchdown and a 28-13 Green Wave halftime lead. Second half, Copley on the move, but you have to take the football with you. That wasn't the case. Holy Name recovers, and that would lead to this. Javon Williams looks like he gets shot out of a cannon, goes 52 yards for the touchdown, and Holy Name moves on with a 49-13 win, saves.
All right, thanks, PJ. Dual halftime band show at Buckeye High School. Buckeye hosting Padua. Padua Bruins leading 21-7 with 20 seconds left in the second quarter. They're threatening on the Buckeye 30. Tyler's 2 saves pass is tipped and picked off in the end zone by Triton Windenmeyer for the Buckeye touchback. Padua led 21-7 at the break. Third quarter, same score. Buckeye ball. Casey Murray fires from the pocket, and it's picked off by Padua's Marquise Hall. The junior turns the INT into a TD. It's a pick 6, 55 yards to the cribs for the Padua Bruins touchdown. Look at him go. 28-7. Padua Bruins add another score to eliminate Buckeyes 35-7. Ken.
Riverside, usually a special program. This year, a really special program beginning their march to December. And this is Brady McKnight from Mike and Maloney marching into the end zone. 7-0 Beavers early. Lakeside's defense trying to hold on. Nate Bartone right down the A-gap for a sack. The sophomore, he's a leader on both sides of the ball. Riverside with the ball back. Maloney to Jake Ellie on 4th and 13, a 24-yard touchdown strike. Next drive, after 2 through the air, Maloney, he did it on the ground. This from 5 yards out, and Riverside rolls 63-6. Beavers will play the winner of Nordonia and Garfield Heights. Now JT has the first Sky scores of the playoffs.
Thank you, Ken. Sky Fox started the playoffs soaring under the setting sun in high over St. Vincent St. Mary, where it was Cleveland versus Akron and Public versus Private when the John Hay Hornets swarmed the Irish. Let's see those Sky scores. Irish driving and Santino Harper running off tackle down inside the Hornets' 10-yard line. And the next play, Caden Spry up the middle for a fullback.
Sky score.
Thank you, guys. 7-0 St. V's, and they were just getting started after a Hay punt. Markel Carter avoids the rush, rolls right, fires a strike to Blake Kane for a nice gain. And later in the drive, DeAnthony Kelker can walk in for another Sky score. And St. V's beats Hay 50-18. The Irish are moving on.
This playoff edition of Friday Night Touchdown just getting started. Still ahead, we'll name our first HJAX Plumbing and Heating Player of the Week of the playoffs.
Plus, can Chardon make it a hat trick? The back-to-back state champs begin their quest for the three-peat when Akron East visits the Hilltop. and the highlights are coming up.
But first, this one's for all the Nuggets. Garfield Heights travels to Nordonia for the first Chick-fil-A playoff matchup of 2022. Can the Bulldogs pull off the upset and knock off the Knights?
Then CVC rivals square off in Division 6. Last year, Kirtland fell 4 points short of a 4th straight title, but the Hornets are undefeated again. Can they start strong against Independence?
And Sky Fox hovers over Hoban, where the Knights are chasing their 6th championship in 8 years. Does Willoughby South have the speed to play spoiler? Sky Scores coming up next, but first, what's Danny doing tonight and this morning?
This is my granddaughter, Evie.
Yes, my name is Evie.
And this is my grandson, Emmett.
I'm Emmett Coughlin.
And what's your name?
My name is Finn Coughlin.
What do you call me, your idol?
My idol.
Just say it out there for him.
This guy was
Make
calling
sure he catches
my
it on-
baseball games in 5th grade at Vulcan Park. Let's go Bruins. Let's go.
Do you want to hold the microphone?
Yeah. Rock, 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 rock.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Touchdown. It's time for the first Chick-fil-A playoff matchup at PJ.
Yes, I have the highlights. Eat more chicken. 7-seeded Nordonia hosting the 10-seeded Garfield Heights Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs will bring in the defense. Joey Palinkas has plenty of time, but no one's open, and that's a sack for Adonis Dowell. Dogs on offense. Noah Werman uncorks one deep over the middle, caught by Cameron Smith. That will move the chains, but the drive would stall. Nordonia back on offense. Palinkas lets it fly. Nice catch by Devin Tufts. He had toe drag swag. In the 4th, Jeremy Olsko zigzags his way to the end zone. That made it 28-0 Knights. The defense slams the door. Olsko comes up with a big interception and returns it into the red zone, and Nordonia wins it 30-0. JT.
Hey, here's a wild one at Euclid Community Stadium. Henston's ball, long pass to the electric Sean Patrick. And University School, the Preppers, they are on their heels, but Ryan Kellen makes the interception, ending a half of 659 yards of total offense from both teams. 3rd quarter, Mr. Patrick, what a talent. Long run all the way down to the 4. He scored shortly, and it's a 33-27 Bombers game. Later, Patrick scores again. It's 40-27 Kenston, but Bolland would get a touchdown for the Preppers within 7, and they got the ball. A fumble. Preppers recover. There's Bedlam in Euclid, and under a minute to go, the Preppers go for it on this play. But Tamir Cardona and Kenston pick it off. A thrilling win for them, 40-33. Danny.
6-time state champion Kirtland opens its title chase at home against Independence. Hornets up big and looking for more. Jake Laverty hits Rocco Alfieri in the flat for 18 yards. Next play, McGuire Boyd up the middle and into the end zone. It's 34-6 Kirtland. After an Indy punt, it's Alfieri again, and he hops into the end zone for another Hornets score. Later, Luke Chuck keeps and scores, and Kirtland cruises 48-6. Ken.
Thank you very much, Danny. Solon heads to Hudson, where defense would be the premium tonight. Solon trailing 3-0 when Harley Barman finds Tanner Calvetta for a nice game, but the Comet drive would stall. 2nd quarter, same score, more defense. Comets come up with the pick. It's Kean Porter who was tackled after a short run back trying to make anything happen. Solon still trying to get it going, but this time it's Hudson coming up with the pick. Jack Jenkins back deep, and he has it for the Explorers. And finally some offense. Hudson's Ian Ludwig on 4th and 2 rips a long one for the touchdown, and Hudson moves on to the 2nd round, blanking Solon 31-0. Now, John Sable has more Sky Scores.
All right, thank you, Ken. Sky Fox made its 2nd stop under the Crescent Moon and high over Hoban, where the Knights are chasing their 6th title in 8 years. But first, they have to get by a tough 16 seed in Willoughby South. Let's see the Sky Scores. South on the offense here. Nice run by Tyrone Singleton. And he tries to cut back, but no, it's a fumble. And Ricky Williams recovers for Hoban. Knights drive down to the 2 and line up in the triple I formation, and Lamar Sperling dots the I for a Sky Score. He had a 6-pack tonight, and Hoban pounds South 57-14.
This playoff edition of Friday Night Touchdown isn't finished yet, still ahead. We'll check in on the 2-time defending champs from Chardon. Can the Toppers climb the mountain again, or will Akron East shock the world?
But first, what's Ken doing now?
Hey, you! Yes, you! Get out of that car and into my RV. Playoffs? You're talking about playoffs? We're trying to win the game. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. We're in Menor.
Welcome back, everybody. Friday night touchdown. Let's get back to the playoff highlights with another defending state champion, and Ken has the highlights from Chardon.
Chardon's band with a tribute to retiring Motley Crue guitarist Mick Mars. Actually, I don't know, but that would still be pretty cool. And this is pretty cool. It's Andrew Bruce of the Hilltoppers around the corner for an easy 15 yards. A few plays later, it's Bruce again. This time he's good for 24 yards and a Chardon touchdown, 7-0 Toppers. Later on in the first quarter, Chardon ball, and it's Bruce again. 42 yards down the near sideline and into the end zone, and make it 12 straight playoff wins for the Toppers. Chardon moving on 42-15. Now, JT has more playoff Sky Score.
Well, Sky Fox continued its tour of Summit County with a stop over Walsh Jesuit Warriors hosting Maple Heights. Walsh up big, and watch this great grab by Maple's Ashton Pugh. Dewan King throws it high. Pugh taps it to himself for, that's right, a Sky Score. Last play before the half. It's Ryan Kirschner. He's down the middle. Pugh's there again, makes the interception this time, but it wasn't enough. Walsh wins 56-20. The Warriors are moving on. John.
All right, thanks, JT. Sky Fox crossed the street to CVCA. Royals face a tough test against Aurora. Greenman driving Alex Tenorio running hard, and just like Prince Harry, it takes 3 Royals to bring him down. Later in the drive, Sam Renton on the jet sweep. And watch this spin move for a
Sky Score.
Greenman will take the lead, and Aurora edges CVCA 27-24. Danny.
Sky Fox stops over mighty Mogador. Cats hosting the Southeast Pirates. Mason Williams is a tight end on the roster, but he's a weapon wherever he lines up. Breaking tackles for a Sky Score. 41-14 Mogador. Southeast looking to score before halftime. It's another Williams, not Mason, but Randy Williams running hard. Cats trying to strip the ball, but he holds on for a big gain. But Mogador rolls 48-21. PJ.
All right, Sky Fox finished round 1 over Talmadge. Devils hosting the Vikings from VASJ. Talmadge on offense. Ty Hurst hits Nick Kuva, who spins out of a tackle, steps out of bounds, and gets drilled for a personal foul. Talmadge has to settle for a field goal, and Cameron Cavanes boots it through for a
Sky Score.
13-7 Devils. Later, VASJ facing 4th and goal. Kylan Stuball trying to make a play, throws on the run, but no, it falls incomplete. Talmadge takes over, and Jackson Doherty follows a great block by Xander Hopkins. That's good for a
Sky Score.
And Talmadge beats VASJ 21-7. All right, stick around. We'll pick our plays and player of the week next.
You've seen the highlights from 20 playoff games. Now the 2 Johns have our Toyota top plays from round 1 of the playoffs.
All right, Commish, thank you. Let's first start with the offensive play of the week. Started with a pass and ended with a double tap. Maple Heights receiver Ashton Pugh only got one hand on the ball, but he tapped it to himself for a Sky Score. JT.
Thank you. Defensive play of the week came in one of the biggest upsets of the night. Padua Junior Marquise Hall jumping in front of the Buckeye receiver, racing 55 yards the other way for a Padua pick 6, helping the Bruins beat the Bucks. PJ.
And we saw some impressive performances last night, but one player had the game of his life on the right night. Kenston running back Sean Patrick ran for 264 yards and racked up another 112 yards receiving, not to mention 4 touchdowns, helping the Bombers upset University School in the first round. And that's why Sean Patrick is the Friday night touchdown HJAC's Plumbing and Heating Player of the Week.
Fantastic. And that's all the time we have for the playoff edition of Friday Night Touchdown. All tonight's scores are at fox8.com, and we'll be back next Friday night at 11 with second round games and our Fox 8 Player of the Year.
Until then, for the 2 Johns, Danny, Ken, and the gang, and our great producer, Nick Kovac, who makes the show possible each and every week. We appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying up late with us. We will see you next week for week 2 of the Friday Night Touchdown Playoffs. We'll see you then. Wow. Have a great weekend. Go Browns.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Hey!